Now let's look at additive model, where we assume that sales value is a sum of trend, seasonality, cyclical, and random variation. So we're going to use a regression approach for the additive model. So here is what we're going to assume. So we're going to assume that y hat, our forecast, is going to be that part, that's your trend. B sub 0 plus B sub 1, the first x is the time period t, like like here, like here that we used. So that would be the first x1. And then we're going to define dummy variables that indicate which season a particular observation belongs. So if you remember from the previous chapter, so when you have categorical variables, then you have to define, suppose if there are k categories, then you have to define k minus 1 exactly, not less, not more, dummy variables to fully define those categories. Now in this case, in the additive model, the quarters act like categories. Okay, there are 4 quarters, so there are 4 categories. Okay. If it was a monthly data, then you'll have 12 categories, 12 seasons, 12 categories. Or in like in the case of weekly cycles with 5 days, there will be 5 categories. So category minus 1. In this case, if it was daily season, then you will need 5. There are 5 days, so you'll need 4 dummy variables. In the case of quarters, we have 4 quarters, so we need 3 dummy variables. Okay. So x sub 1 is time, then x sub 2 is 1 if it's quarter 2, otherwise 0. X sub 3 is 1 for quarter 3, otherwise 0. X sub 4 is 1 for quarter 4, otherwise 0. So if all of them are 0, then that would indicate it's quarter 1. Let's go ahead and set up the x values. Okay, so we're going to use the same data from over here. This is uh, the sales data. Okay, so x sub 1 is 1 through 12. Now, x sub 2 will be if okay. Now we have to look at the quarter here. So I'm going to have to go up here. So this is where the quarters are. So I have to check that. If it is equal to 2, then 1, otherwise 0. Right? So that's that. Now the next one is the same if. Again, you have to go back up here. Is equal to 3, then 1, otherwise 0. Okay. Then next is if that is equal to 4, 0. 4 equal to 1, otherwise 0. Alright, so now we can copy that down here. So we have the data set up. Okay, so this is going to be our X range, and that's going to be our Y range. Okay, and let's do a regression. Okay, regression. Okay, so Y range is that, right? So we have to check labels in a minute. X range is that, check labels, and the output, okay, I'm going to use that. Okay, so now we have the output, and here are the coefficients. Okay, so our estimated equation is $104.104 plus 2.313 T, right? That's the x sub 1 plus 15.688 if it is season 2, right? Season 2 or quarter 2. Plus, so compared to quarter 1, quarter 2 is 15.688 more in demand. 38.708 season 3 plus 30.063 quarter 4. So I'll change that to quarter as well. Okay, let me move that up here. So that's our estimated equation. Now how do we use it? Suppose we want forecast for year 4. So now X value goes up to 12 for year 1 through 3. So here will be 13, 14, 15 and 16. Okay. Let me do it this way. So this is for 2, 3 and 4, right? See quarters 3, 2, 3 or 4. So we can do it in this fashion if that, okay, so now I'm going to be able to copy it across. So the quarter should come from column B is equal to 2 and that should come from row 95. Then it is 1, otherwise 0. So now I can copy that across like that and down. So then I have the dummy variable set up correctly. Alright, so now I'm going to, so here are the coefficients and here are the x values. Okay, so there is a problem. Here we have coefficients going this way and coefficients going that way. So the formula is not going to work properly unless, let's do it this way. So we have the intercept and the intercept must come always from there, so it should be absolute referenced, right? Plus I'm going to do a sum product, all right, of these 4 values. Okay, but there is a problem because they go with these coefficients and these coefficients are vertical, these are in rows. So you have to transpose. So we can use transpose. Okay, transpose that. All right, so now that has to be absolute referenced. Okay, now close parenthesis, one's for transpose and one more for sum product. Okay, now if I press enter, I'll get an error because transpose is an array function. So I have to press Control and Shift with your left hand, keep those 2 keys depressed and then press the enter key. Okay, and that's our forecast. Now copy. Okay, so you get the rest of. So here you get that plus this and this or some product, you're using some product with a transpose. So this is the easiest and quickest way to compute the forecasts.